here at the Poundfest in McAllen High School, the site of the gold bracket, as we have reached the final day of coverage. And this game is going to feature the Rivera Lady Raiders as you see them getting set to take the court, taking on the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons. This is a quarterfinal matchup here between these two teams. The winner will get the winner of a game going on in the other gym, which is Edinburgh North and McAllen Memorial. Falcons lost their first game of the year yesterday to McAllen Memorial. And in reality, they would like to get another shot at them. Even as they walked off the court yesterday, Coach Becky Woods was saying, "We eliminate some mistakes. I'd sure like to play them again." Well, the wish just may come true, Coach. You got to get a win over a tough Rivera squad that's a young squad coming up through the ranks in a hurry. As this Rivera team navigated through the waters, they only lost once yesterday. They lost to Nikki Rowe in a game in which they gave up an early lead in both games 1 and 2, and then battled back, made it close before eventually falling. But the Rivera Raiders, again, a young squad, and they're getting their feet wet, getting their rhythm established. And they will be a good team by the time district play gets around. But here in this tournament, they should be competitive here as well. Lady Raiders and the Lady Falcons meet at the net. Again, our thanks for you fans joining us here for the broadcast. Falcons under the direction of Coach Becky Woods. We were there yesterday for her historic 700th win as a coach. They didn't get a chance to celebrate that long as they had to stay on the court and go right back to work playing against McAllen Memorial. We're set to go for the first serve here. Meanwhile, the officials are making sure that the rotation is set. Our thanks to Mr. David Gonzalez for assisting us on running the camera, as we had some issues with one of the camera operators not being able to make it to the gym today. And so David Gonzalez, Lexi's dad on the Mac High Lady Bulldog side of things, stepped in and he's helping us. Our tremendous thanks for that. Otherwise, I'd have to be doing the double duties. Serve across and away we go. Los Fresnos serves it up. Raiders go on the attack. Spike across, carries out of bounds. And it's 1-0 Los Fresnos to start it off. Lady Falcons, we saw them. When they get rolling, they can score points in a hurry, and they can establish those big hitters at the front row as good as anyone in this tournament. Back row attempt this time, hit over by the Rivera Raiders. Rochelle Guerra back there is the libero. She'll punch that up in the air. Covered by Clarissa Olivares. Sets it up center, played by the Falcons. Jump set in the middle. Spike across, that carries out of bounds. And a point to Rivera. They went right to Jasmine Garcia. Garcia was one of our players of the game yesterday in our action coverage from McAllen Memorial's gym. Falcons now on the attack. Garcia becomes the passer. Halford puts it over, and here come the Raiders on the attack. Set it up off the double block. That's a kill and a point on a kill by Kenya Ibarra. Ibarra, we saw her during our summer play coverage. And they'll go to her often if she can get set at that net. Point across for the Falcons, and we're all tied at 2 apiece. Earlier, Mackay knocked off Eggenberg Vela. So the Lady Bulldogs are in the semifinal game, and semifinals are right after this. This is the quarters, and then they go right back into action with the semifinals. Back set this time for the Raiders, looking for the angle. Nice dig that time by Corey Reyes. Ball back over on the Rivera side. One thing about Rivera is we have seen them during the summer. They will play some defense. That back row can get very active. Set it up now to Ibarra. Tried to tip it to the blockers. Took a little too much off of that. A point for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. And they go up 3-2. Falcons serve it across. Played by the Raiders. A high set on the far side for Ibarra. Looking down the sideline. Covered this time by Clarissa Escabel. Set it up. Brown hits it over. Right back at you to Ibarra. This time off the block. Back on the Rivera side. Set up Ibarra again. Blocked again. Back over on the Rivera side. Third hit up near Ibarra. Tips it over. Played by the Falcons. Punch it over. Ibarra there. They'll reset it middle this time, past the blockers. Good coverage this time. A long rally. Both teams battling for the ball, and then a point to Rivera as it falls on the Falcon side. District 32-6A is going to be some kind of district to navigate through. With Los Fresnos, Rivera, Harlingen South. We saw Harlingen yesterday. They're coming through the ranks. Hanna. And even San Benito, which you'll see in our broadcast over the Donna tournament later today. High set for Ibarra for the Lady Raiders. Dug by Halford. A set up for Mia Brown. Puts it over. Played, though, by the Raiders. Center set this time. Past the block of Garcia. They'll set up Garcia. Two hands it over, looking for the back corner. Played by the Raiders. Set up Ibarra on that left side. Down it goes. A kill for the Raiders. Kenya Ibarra gives the Raiders the lead. At 4-3. Serve across by Laisha Izaguirre. Played by the Falcons. Set up Garcia. Right back at you. Jasmine Garcia ties it up. Garcia on the kill. Falcons now serving. Rios serves that over. Evelyn Rios as the libero. Played by Ibarra. That's out of bounds and a point to the Lady Falcons. Thing about Los Fresnos, they were challenged throughout the day yesterday. All of their, even though they swept Harlingen and were beaten in 2 games by McCallum Memorial, and then took on a tough Vela team. They were pressed. None of their games were decided till late. Much different than the likes of like McCallum Memorial. We saw them just breeze through some games. We saw Mac High in our day 1 coverage with some relatively easy wins indicated by the scores. This Falcon team has been just tested point for point. Raiders with a good pass, a back set. Ibarra gets it down again. Ties it up at 6 apiece. Now the question will be who will become the hitter for the Raiders as Ibarra rotates to the back row. Substituting in, they'll bring in Christina Garza, outside hitter on the left. Meanwhile, Ibarra serves it. Good pass by Rios, a high set to the center, and too hard on the spike as Gio Godoy puts that out of the back row. Rivera on top at 7-6. One thing they talked about, they wanted to stay close early. They didn't want to give up a big lead and have to figure out a way to come back against a team like Los Fresnos. Spike across is covered by the Raiders. They'll go on the attack, tipped over. Good dig that time by Ari Gallardo. Gallardo will put this over. Ibarra there with the pass. The high set by Olivares. Tip across on the Falcon side. Set it up right side, tipped over. Raiders on the attack again with a back set, looking for the back angle. Back row plays that for the Falcons. Back over, a deep hit, and that goes out of bounds. Rivera scores the point on the long rally. Timeout call. Becky Wood said, I don't like what's going on here. Our team is just kind of going through the motions. She'll try to pick them up. It's early in the morning. It's still 10 o'clock back here after this.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Back here after the timeout, and the Brownsville Rivera Lady Raiders Still over there on the side, talking things over. Los Fresnos took the timeout to see if they could get the wake-up call, if you will. This is day 3 of a tournament. This is always the toughest games as far as just simply getting your team prepared to play. From here on, the adrenaline can take you through the semifinals and get to the championship game. You'll be tired, but adrenaline can take over. That's this morning game, the first one. It's so often a team can fall and they'll look around saying we should not have lost that game. Raiders, though, on the attack, get the kill across, and Brownsville Rivera back on top by a couple. Back to serve is Rochelle Guerra. Guerra serves that across. Good pass this time by the Falcons. Second hit over. Challenge at the net, and Falcons manage to keep it alive. Can't get it over the net. Another point to Rivera. They go up 10-7. The winner of this gets McCallum Memorial or Edinburgh North. That game's going on in the other gym. Serve across by Guerra. Line drive serve played by Rios. Halford there. Now hit across by Cadence Castillo. Ball back on the Raiders side. Back row attempt by Guerra. That's played by the Falcons, and the net it goes off the hit of Godoy. And another point to Brownsville Rivera. Rivera up by 4 now. Rochelle Guerra serves it across. Rios with the return of serve. Set up Halford off the net. Back angle played by Ibarra. High set and in the net called on Rivera. Los Fresnos scores a point. Those kind of errors are what the coaches are talking about. They do not want to commit against a team like Los Fresnos. You have them down, at that time 4 points, as a missed serve goes out of bounds. You're a young squad. You have your opponent down. And so immediately you want to try to maintain control of the game. Halford spikes that across. Ibarra, now they'll set it up on the left side, block back at you, but in the net called on Los Fresnos, and a point to Brownsville Rivera. Garcia rotated over to go for the block and just edged the net. Raiders up 5. We're good. Apologize for the freezing there. Our audio kept going. Our camera got a power supply that gave me some fits here. We'll change that out in between games. 14-8, you didn't miss any action there. 1 point. Falcons give up another as Rivera now up by 7 here in this game. And they'll serve again. A cross played by the Falcons. Back set to Mia Brown. That's in the net. Point Rivera. Another timeout by Los Fresnos. This is not normally how they look. Rivera, though, feeding on that and looking good in game 1. Back after this.
Everyone's a winner at Kano Auto Sales 2 in Harlingen. Choose from a wide selection and score big today on West Expressway 83. Right now, check out this 2014 Hyundai Elantra GT. This car is loaded with a leather interior, satellite radio, Bluetooth, and it's yours today for 0 money down and $175 a month. That's right, no money down. Drive away today, just $175 a month. Or feel the power of this 2016 Dodge Challenger. This includes the RT Scat Pack, includes navigation, satellite radio, a reverse camera, an Alpine stereo system. Practically new with just 31,000 miles, powered by a 6.4-liter 392 Hemi engine. This today on the lot at $33,999. Financing is available with lending for all types. Every deal's a winner at Cano Auto Sales 2, in business since 2002. Harlingen, Texas.
Back here on Rio Sports Live, and the Brownsville Rivera Raiders scoreboard changed to 16-9. We'll keep that score because that's on the scoreboard here at the gym. Raiders on top. Mia Brown looking for some energy. Gets it across, but it's played by the Raiders. Again, that back row can play with anybody on returning hits. Right there, Guerra makes a diving play. Now she becomes a hitter. Looking for the back corner. Played by the Falcons. Set up Halford. Shield attack. Guerra there to dig it in the net on the front. Called on the Raiders and a point to Los Fresnos. All right, so the Falcons, you could see that. They brought another notch higher on the intensity level attacking. But that back row very active for Brownsville Rivera. Tate Halford back to serve for the Lady Falcons. Deep serve. Second hit still off that back row. They'll get it forward. Guerra, that's played on the back row by Rios. That might have been going out. Brown on the attack. Diving play keeps that alive. Back row attack again by Guerra. That one does carry out of bounds. I think the Lady Falcons gifted Rivera earlier in that rally by playing a ball that was going out. Second time through, they let it go. Falcons serve it up. Raiders on the attack. Set up Ibarra, who's back on the front row. Halford there to dig that. A high set middle. Garcia. Two hands that over. Raiders on the attack again. Past the block. Covered by the Falcons. They'll get it over. Free hit coming up. Garrow with the pass. They'll set up Ibarra left side. Got it over before the block got there. Off the net, though. Falcons play it to Brown. Tips it over. Right back on the Falcon side. Brown with the pass. Set it up to Garcia. Played by the Raiders. Ball back on the Falcon side. High set center. Garcia hammers it down. Point. Garcia sometimes will appear to be a little hesitant in bringing the big hit. Not that time. She thundered that one down for the point. Falcons on the attack here. Get it over, and a point scored as they get the angle. 3-point game. Tate Halford to serve. Short serve played by the Raiders with a good pass. They'll get the set to Ibarra. Free hit coming up. High set middle. Garcia tips it over. This time it's played by the Raiders up near the net. Over it goes, and point scored to Rivera. The Raiders go back up 4. Back to serve. Laisha Izaguirre. Izaguirre puts it across. Back row, Rios there with the pass. A high set by Escabel. And the kill for the Lady Falcons. Back to a 3-point game. Serve over, played by the Raiders. High set center for Ibarra. Tipped it past the block and got the point. And you see that so often. A hitter will establish the fact that they are going to bring those big hits. And you start backpedaling on the back row to make sure you're in position. And then they take the pace off the hit. As Godoy hammers one out of bounds. Raiders back up by 5 at 19-14. And they've really controlled the lead here in this game 1. Brown on the return of serve. High set center, tipped across. Raiders go immediately on the attack, setting up Ibarra. Tip that over the blockers. Covered this time on the back row. Brown can't punch it across. Point for Rivera. They win the race to 20. Larissa Oliveras back at the service line. Gets that across. Played by the Falcons. High set. Tipped across by Godoy. Guerra's there. Free hit coming up for the Falcons. Good pass by Rios. A high set and put down on the back corner. And a point scored for Los Fresnos. Down 5 is one thing. Down 5 this late in the game is another. You have to play with a lot of urgency here if you're Los Fresnos trying to come back in this game. Mia Brown to serve it up. Short serve across, and that carries out of bounds. Service error opens the door, scores a point for Rivera. We're now in countdown mode trying to get through this game. Rotating back to the front row is back row is Kenya Ibarra to serve. Gets it across. Good pass by Rios. A high set. Kill attempt right back on the Falcon side as it's returned. Set it up again on the left side. Covered. Ball punched over on the Falcon side yet again. Set it up left side. Dug again. They continually set up Gallardo. Now the ball is hit out of bounds by the Raiders. Falcons with a steady feed that time to Gallardo. She's rotated front row. She'll rotate back to serve now as Tate Halford joins Godoy up there as your hitters for the Lady Falcons. Ball on the Falcons side. Godoy will two-hand that over. Raiders on the attack. Set it up on the net. Challenge there. Ball still alive on the Raiders side. Back to the Falcons. Diving play keeps that alive. Raiders back on the offense. Set it back on a back set. Right side. Nothing doing. Point Falcons. If you're Los Fresnos, you need to trade at about a 3-to-1 ratio. Right now, you don't want to give up any more points. Raiders know that. They call a timeout. They still lead by 4. Back after this.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Our professional advisors at Employee Retirement Services have been providing financial and retirement planning for many years for employees of different employment.
If you've spent your career in education and are ready for the next chapter, let the professionals at Employment Retirement Services help. You've worked hard, and now it's time to relax and enjoy with peace of mind and security.
Help fulfill your retirement needs. Come experience the difference with us.
And let's plan your retirement together.
Call us at 956-440-8774 to schedule your appointment today.
Back here on Rio Sports, that one goes out of bounds off a tip, and another point to the Rivera Raiders. And they're up 5 at 22-17, and now in striking distance of capturing game 1 here of this best of 3 in the quarterfinals. Rochelle Guerra to serve it up. A short serve played across by Rios. Ball up to Halford. Guerra back there to dig that. Back set for Ibarra on the back row. That's in the net. Point Los Fresnos. I said they had to change 3-to-1. They could go a 3-to-1 ratio if you're the Falcons and still be in position to capture this game. Need to score a couple of points here in a row. Serve across, a good one played by the Raiders. Free hit coming up. Good chance for the Falcons to score. The pass a little too far. Tipped over. In the net called Rivera. Point Los Fresnos. And boy, if you're a Raider fan, you want to look at that as a missed chance because the Falcons, the pass had carried too far. It was going over the net. Deep serve. That carries out of bounds. Point Rivera. Missed serve will drive you nuts as a coach. Service time for Alondra Guzman. Puts that over. Falcons go on the attack. Halford spikes it over. That's going to be in the net called on Rivera and a point to Los Fresnos. Now the Falcons need to score literally the next 3. You get an opponent at 24 and where you have to play letter perfect for several serves in a row. Then you're up against it. Needing a point here. Falcons with a chance. Set it up. Brown goes for the hit. Ball blocked right back at you. Raiders keep it alive. Back on the attack come the Falcons. A high set center. Garcia, that's dug. On the Raiders side, Ibarra puts it over. Back row plays that for the Falcons. Again to Garcia. Guerra there to dig that as this rally continues. At the net, off the block. Point Raiders. Laisha Izagiri was there to score the point. Brownsville Rivera now a point away from capturing game one of this best of three. Back to serve. Short serve across. Played by the Falcons. They'll race over, set up Brown. Back row there to dig that. Raiders get it over. Brown with a pass. A set by Escobar. A hit by Garcia. Got it down. Garcia on the kill as the Lady Falcons stave off one game point. This is where you're at. You have to play letter perfect volleyball for the next three. That's just to tie it and to extend the game. Any errors here whatsoever or any big plays by your opponent, and this game's over. Set up Ibarra to put it away. Nothing there. Rios there to dig that. Ball off the net. Brown gets it over. Chance for the Raiders to win it right here. Set up Ibarra again. Block back at you. Raiders attack again. Right back to Ibarra. Tipped it over the block. Covered this time by Garcia. Immediately set Garcia, and she puts it away. 2 game points. And the Falcons now within 2. You still got to play letter perfect volleyball for 2 more serves. Halford to serve it across. Got it in play. Good pass this time by Guerra. They'll set it on the back set right side. Nice dig on the back row by Escobar. Escobar watches though. She's your setter. Ball up at the net. Tipped over by Garcia. Another point for the Falcons. 24-23. Timeout call by Rivera. Falcons serving to really make this thing interesting after this.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Out of the timeout, the Lady Falcons are able to enter the court first. They were down 24-20 in this game. Have rattled off 3 consecutive points. Forced the Rivera Raiders to call a timeout. And now we'll be serving, in essence, to extend this game in this win by 2. Any of the past 3 serves were opportunities for Rivera to just outright win the game. Tate Halford will serve for the Falcons. Gets it across. Guerra with a pass. High set to Ibarra. Off the block. Covered by the Falcons. Set it up right side. Tip past the blockers, but Rivera's there to cover that. Center set. Played by Halford up near the bleachers. Played back over. Free hit coming up for the Raiders. Good chance to win game 1 right here. Ibarra played by Halford. Ball still alive. Garcia tips it over. Back corner. There the Raiders are to cover that. Ibarra again. Past the block. Point. Raiders win game 1. 25-23. Kenya Ibarra finally put it away. It was a good comeback. Falcons and Raiders, game 2. This should be real good from here on. Back after this.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Hi, we're Mission Veterans, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live. Woo!
We are this close.
We're this close.
We are this close of wanting to making history.
This close to changing the world.
We are this close.
This close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease
ever again. This close.
We are this close to ending polio.
Ending polio. All we need is you.
This close.
If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
Fishing fans, here's your chance to catch some fish and help out athletes at the same time. Mark the calendar now and plan on attending October 20th as the 3-up, 3-down San Perlita Booster Club Fishing Tournament looks to be the biggest and best yet. Located at Laguna Madre Baits in Port Mansfield, Texas, this tournament is set to provide 100% of the proceeds directly to the athletic programs. Artificial lures only with a blackjack format, no fish over 21 inches, $150 per team or boat, maximum 4 people, and the grand champion is a team closest to 63 inches with 1 red trout and 1 flounder. Food raffles, baked goods, a silent auction, and terrific prizes from some great sponsors. Registration is October 19th. The tournament is October 20th. See you there at the 3-up, 3-down fishing tournament in Port Mansfield, where catching fish is helping athletes in a big, big way.
Back here on Rio Sports Live as we are in between games 1 and 2 of this quarterfinal matchup between Los Fresnos and Brownsville Rivera. Rivera captured game 1, 25-23. And now the Lady Falcons first back on the court as we get set for game 2. As the Lady Falcons, if they play to the level we are expecting, they'll be challenging every point here in this one. The question is, can this young Rivera squad maintain and sustain the drive that carried them through the win in game 1? Right now you've got momentum and you've got the confidence level that you can knock this team off. This is a district preview much down the road. These two teams will be playing in district action. Guzman serves it up. Away we go, game 2. Garcia spikes it. It's off the net. Played. Ibarra comes right back at you. Whistles that one home. 1-0 Rivera. Kenya Ibarra. The big kill. Next serve by the Raiders, played by Brown. A high set in the center. Garcia puts that down. Ties us up at 1 apiece. Punch, counter punch from the big hitters for the first 2 points of this game. Substitution in as Rochelle Guerra takes a spot on the back row for Brownsville Rivera. Serving time for Escobar. Carries that out of bounds. Raiders score again. They take advantage of those missed serves by the Lady Falcons. 2-1 game. Back to serve is Laisha Izagiri. And that's an ace served up. It's a 3-1 game. And if Rivera can jump out to a lead here in game 2, that confidence is going to go through the roof. Already they're playing at a high level, having won that first game. High set in the middle. Garcia tries to put it away. Nice dig, though, by Alondra Guzman. Back row attempt by the Raiders. Punched up in the air. Good recovery by Gallardo. Brown puts it over. Right back at you. Here come the Raiders. Set it up. Ibarra backpedaling. We'll get that over. Rios. Now they'll set up Brown. Off the net. Played over on the Raiders' side. And a point scored for Los Fresnos. Dangerous shot there as that ball went over the net. Real close to being in the net was Jasmine Garcia. Serve across by the Falcons. Set up for the Raiders. Tipped over the blockers. Pancaked and still alive, but a point scored. And I think the front row just froze there for Los Fresnos. They thought that ball was down. But the outright pancake on the back row kept that ball in play. Raiders serve it up 2. The pass to Brown. Rios can't get that over. 5-2 lead for Brownsville Rivera. Serving is Clarissa Oliveras. Oliveras gets it with a deep serve. That carries out of bounds. Lady Falcons needing to build momentum on any opportunity. Rotate Jasmine Garcia back to the service line. Gio Godoy steps up to the front row. Good pass by the Raiders. Set it up. Tipped by Ibarra. Point. Brownsville Rivera. From that right side attack, Kenya Ibarra able to produce. She'll rotate back now to serve. For that, a substitution had checked in. Now we're ready. Ibarra serves it across and got the ace. Kenya Ibarra with an ace. 7-3 lead now for Brownsville Rivera. Line drive serve this time, played by the Falcons. Godoy tips that for the back corner, got the point. Godoy spotted a wide open back row. Placed that with just enough pace to keep it out of reach. 7-4 game. Mia Brown back to serve. Gets that across, played by Guerra. Set it up at the net, spiked, and Brown's there to dig that. Godoy now two-hands it over. Ball back on the Rivera side, right side, tipped across, played by the Falcons. Point, though, Los Fresnos, as in the net against Rivera. It makes it a 7-5 game. 7-5 Brownsville Rivera. Serving time for Mia Brown. Brown serves it across. Good play there by the Raiders. Ball at the net, in the net called. Another point to Los Fresnos. Lady Falcons now within one at 7-6 as Mia Brown will serve again. Brown ready for the serve. Looking for the tie. Jump serve played by Guerra. Set it up off the net, off the block, punched in the air by Rios. High set to Godoy. Got it past the blockers. Back row races back to cover that for the Raiders. Back over on the Falcon side. Brown, the pass, the set, and the kill attempt by Gallardo is down, and we're tied at 7 apiece. Just enough on it. Ari Gallardo secures point number 7. They haven't put it on the scoreboard yet. There it is. Now we're tied as Mia Brown serves it up. Gets that over. Deep serve out of bounds. A service error gives the lead back to Rivera. Brownsville Rivera with the lead as Rochelle Guerra serves it up. Played by the Falcons. A high set in the middle. Godoy, that's too strong and out of bounds. So the Falcons managed to get back in the game and tie it. But now the Lady Raiders controlling the lead. Guerra to serve with a jump serve. Got it across. Rios is there to pass it. They'll set up Halford on the back row. Raiders punch it right back over. A high set by Escobar. Gallardo puts it away. 9-8 game. Falcons, though, continually playing catch-up. As Ari Gallardo back to the serve. Across, played by the Raiders. Good pass, right on the money. Set it up, but in the net called. 2 hits. And a point to Los Fresnos, ties it at 9 apiece. Now the Falcons will serve for the lead as Ari Gallardo gets it across. Played by Guerra. A high back set. Ibarra spikes it out of bounds. Point Los Fresnos. Lady Falcons up 10-9. Gallardo to serve it up. Deep serve, that's out of bounds. Service there. Raiders rotate a new player back in the game. Alondra Guzman back to serve. Guzman puts this in play. Falcons on the attack, set it up. Halford reaches up, makes the play as Guerra digs it. Ball at the net, spiked across on the Falcons side. They'll play that near the bleachers. What a pass. Right on the money to Halford. Got it over. Raiders on the attack, though. Challenge at the net. Ball still alive. Raiders watch. Falcons attack. Halford again. Right side. Good dig this time on the back row by the Raiders. They'll attack. Back at you. Point Rivera. That was tremendous defense on both sides and the eventual kill for Brownsville Rivera. Ball over on the Falcons side as Halford tips that past the block and ties us up. Tate Halford saw the blockers were just a little late getting there. Anytime you can catch your blockers moving towards the net as you're hitting the ball, that opens up a lot of times space right behind the block. You don't have to hit it through or over. You can hit it past the block, as was the case there. Falcons looking for the lead here. Garcia spikes it. Dug off the back row, and a point for Rivera as that one lands in. That was just an effort to dig a hit, and it kind of froze everyone on the Los Fresnos side. They all thought it was going to carry out of bounds. Nothing doing. Point Raiders, they lead and serve. Falcons looking for the tie. Halford again, this time to the back row. Back row there to play that for the Raiders. Setting up Ibarra off the block point. Brownsville Rivera. And in this case, you're looking, if you're Los Fresnos, you're looking at Brownsville Rivera like they just won't go away. Rivera won game one, up by 2 here. That's just off the net, and an ace is called. 3-point lead for Rivera. Raiders serve it up. Good pass this time by the Falcons. Set it up at the net. Garcia, that's dug though by the Raiders. At the net again, tipped over, and point Los Fresnos. Just too good a look that time for Jasmine Garcia on back-to-back hits. She was able to finally put that away. Falcons serving it up. Back to serve is Clarissa Escobar. Escobar waits. She'll put this into play. Played by the Raiders, looking for Ibarra. Tipped it off the blockers, covered, now at the net, challenge there. Ball on the Falcons side, back to the Raiders. Trying to set it across the net to Ibarra, off the block, dug out by the Falcons. Ball still alive, Raiders attacking again, back set this time, right side. Garcia there to punch that up. Brown able to recover. Raiders, good chance here. High set Ibarra, punches it easily over the blockers. Played though by Los Fresnos. Set up Halford. Tried to carry that over the blockers. On a curl, Raiders on the attack. Diving play, out of bounds. Raiders score again. And so now they're scoring on those long rally points. And this Raider team fully believing right now against this Los Fresnos team. Serve across, played by the Falcons. A high set, back set to Halford. Back row there to play that for the Raiders. Set up Ibarra. Got that one down and in. And that's a luxury for this Raider team, is that they have all that defense, all those players able to keep balls alive. And then if they can get the right pass, they have Ibarra capable of putting it away with the hammer. Falcons score there. 3-point game. Los Fresnos will now serve. Back to serve is Tate Halford. Gets that one across. Played by the Raiders. Back row. Guerra gets that over. Rios with the pass. Escobar the set. Garcia the spike. Dug by the Raiders. A challenge at the net. Blocked by the Falcons. Another point. 2-point game. Falcons serve it over. Raiders looking to maintain control of the lead. Ball at the net. Garcia gets it over. Raiders set it up. Ibarra off the hammer. Ball still alive. Can't get it across. Point Rivera. 3-point lead now for Brownsville Rivera. Ball up high, tipped across by Garcia. Ball over the net, played by the Falcons of Los Fresnos. Back over in the back corner. Guerra gets there for that. Set up Ibarra off the block. Raiders right there to cover all of these block attempts. Falcons tip it to the back corner. Back there to cover that is Clarissa Olivares. Ball back on the Falcon side. Brown with a pass. Escobar, the second hit over. Played by the Raiders. Scrambling, get it to Ibarra. Looking for the back corner. Punched up by Escobar. Rios to Halford. Gets it over. Played by Guerra. Guerra with a back set now. Up in the net it goes. Point Los Fresnos. Lady Falcons win one of those long rally points. 2-point game as Elena Rios checks out of the game. Back to serve is Jasmine Garcia. Gets that over. Raiders on a high set at the net. Spiked across. Down point on a kill by Alondra Guzman. 3-point game. Timeout called. Lady Falcons. Raiders won game one. Remember that. They're now eyeballing the finish line here in game two. It's not over. Back after this.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits, caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats. Laguna Madre Baits, 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas.
Located in the historic downtown district in San Benito is Main Street Boutique. A perfect stop, great atmosphere, locally owned and operated, and new items coming in every day. Something for everyone. Main Street Boutique in San Benito. Back here on Rio Sports as we continue coverage in game two of this quarterfinal matchup between Brownsville Rivera and Los Fresnos. Rivera Raiders with a 3-point lead. Falcons get it over. Raiders looking to build on the lead. Set it up at the net. Point Falcons as they can't get it across. Mia Brown will serve now for the Lady Falcons. Down by 2 as Brown serves it up. Could return a serve by the Raiders. A back set right side. That's off the net. Brown there to dig that. Rios back in the game. Punches it forward to Gallardo. Back on the Raiders side. Set it up center. Blockers there to cover that. Gallardo again tips it past the blockers. Point Falcons, a 1-point game. Lady Falcons looking to serve for the tie. Mia Brown ready. Gets it across with some pace. Guerra there to return it. A high set this time. They're looking for Garza. Off the tip. Point Rivera, and they go back up 2. Brownsville Rivera. Back to serve is Rochelle Guerra. Jump serve for Guerra. Gets it across. Played by the Falcons. Over deep on the back row, played by the Raiders with a good pass. Center set, back angle, out of bounds it goes. Point Los Fresnos. 19-18 the score. Falcons serving, looking to tie it again. Ari Gallardo puts that across. Played by the Raiders, back set right side. Good dig this time by Gallardo. Halford races over, gets it over. Raiders attack, left side, that's Garza, got it down, point. Garza from that left side, Christina Garza on the kill. The race to 20 is there by the Raiders, they win that. Up by 2, serving, deep serve, that's in, an ace. And that's a big point there. It raises the lead back to 3 for Brownsville Rivera. Allows a little cushion for them to be a little more aggressive at the net and at the service line. Serve here, a deep serve, played by Rios. Good pass to Escobar, sets up Halford. Spiked it, but the back row there to play that. Off the net this time. Raiders spiked that across, played by the Falcons, set up Halford again. Back there, Ibarra there to dig that. Guerra becomes the hitter off the back row. Set up Halford for a third time. Got it just off the net, got the point. The first two were letter perfect approaches and hits. The one that counted was the one that glanced off the net and rolled over. Elena Rios serves it up for Los Fresnos. Raiders back set right side. That's off the block and a point. And now the Raiders, like I said, that ace that got him the 3-point cushion allows you to, right now you can trade points back and forth. Falcons will run out of time as this is getting late in the game. Deep serve across, punched up by Halford. A high set for Garcia, tips it over. Raiders go on the attack. Ibarra back to the front row. Back row plays that and can't get it over. All-out effort by Mia Brown, but nothing doing. Points scored for Rivera. Timeout called by Los Fresnos. Right here, you draw the line in the sand. Right here, you go for the jugular if you're Rivera. Back after this.
Needing a treat before or after the big game? Then, when in Harlingen, stop in at the Scoop Ice Cream Parlor and Deli and treat yourself to some amazing things. Ice creams, shakes, sundaes, banana splits, and that's just a sample. If you can dream it, they can make it at the Scoop in Harlingen. From the deli comes a variety of sandwiches that is sure to bring you back for more. Hamburgers and hot dogs served every day. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7, Sundays from 12 to 6. On F Street in Harlingen, it's the Scoop Ice Cream Parlor and Deli.
The bonds we create.
Back here, a timeout called by Coach Becky Woods of Little Fresno's Lady Falcons. Her team backs against the wall right now, down by 4. We'll set it up to Tate Halford. Spikes that, but it's played right there by the Raiders. Looking for Ibarra, right back at you, point Rivera. They answered the big hit with a hit of their own. Raiders now looking for the sweep and a punch ticket into the semifinals. They'll serve it over. Deep serve played by the Falcons. A high set for Garcia. Off the block, got the point for the Falcons. We saw this in game 1. Los Fresnos was down right here at 24-20. And they were able to get back into the game before eventually falling 25-23. They have to score 4 consecutive points as Escobar serves it up. Raiders could put it away on any given serve. Short serve. Guerra there. Ibarra off the net. To the back row to Rios. Gallardo there. Garcia gets it over. Good chance here. Raiders to put it away. Ibarra. Cross to the angle. Got it. Point. Rivera gets the win. Brownsville Rivera knocks off Los Fresnos. They're on their way to the semis. 25-20 the final score. The final kill by Kenya Ibarra, and why not? She's our player of the game as she carries Brownsville Rivera into the semifinals at a 12 o'clock game against either Memorial or Edinburgh North. That's going to do it for the broadcast. Our thanks again to David Gonzalez for assisting us on the camera. I'm going to take a break so he and I can get ready for the next game. Falcons fall. Raiders advance. Semifinal game, Mac High and Rowe coming up soon. Till then, so long.